Did not have to tear off the old roof. They put on a lattice work over the old roof after they've cleaned it all up and taken off all the things from the perimeter. Then they cleaned it all up and they put on this lattice work, which gives airspace, which is a form of insulation for both summer and winter. We have had, at some time or another, snow every month of the year. It snowed in June, it snowed in July, it snowed in September, it snowed all winter, and then, like last year, we had hardly any snow in the wintertime. Well, when we looked around for other roofs, they weren't near as good looking, and we didn't think that they were the quality of this. We didn't think they had the durability of this. So that's why we chose the steel roof.
Interesting. So interesting, in fact, that I had to hear more. So I drove to Texas, hailstorm country, hail the size of, well, Texas-sized hailstones. I talked with Mr. Anderson, the victim of one of those storms.
Well, you know, this was the first Texas hailstorm I'd ever been through. And the damage that a hailstorm will do, or at least did in this area, is something that I'm going to use the word insidious, because the roof, to me, didn't look really any different the day after this happened than it did the day before. From what I understand in talking to the people that know what they're looking for, a hailstone will basically stress crack a cedar shake or a fiberglass shingle. We went with the Girard because of its wind resistance and its hail resistance, and the fact that it's got a great warranty on it. I think this is one of the most attractive roofs you could possibly put on a house. They've got a myriad of color choices. The shake pattern we went with, I think, fits the architecture of the house very nicely. Best word for weather in Texas is volatile. And with the stone-coated tile that we put on this house, I think we're in real good shape.
Okay, so the stone-coated steel roof is good protection against quakes, against fire, against rain and snow, against hail, but what about tornadoes? You got it, Texas-sized twisters. Well, Peggy Williams of DeSoto, Texas was nice enough to share her story.
When we were trying to decide which type of roof to put on the house, we did investigate replacing it with a wood shingle roof that we currently had. We looked at tile roofs. We had someone come and give us estimates on aluminum roofs, and then the Girard roof. And we talked to neighbors that have those type of roofs, asking them questions like, do you hear the rain, or, you know, does it make a lot of noise? And we really felt that this was the best selection for us. We also looked at price-wise. You know, everybody has a budget these days, and we wanted to make sure that we got the best quality product that we could afford at the time. We had a tornado that hit the area in April of '94, and we did have the Girard roof on, thank goodness. The tornado seemed to skip over our house. It hit the front yard and then hit the backyard. The damage to the other homes in the area was quite substantial. A lot of them had great sections of their roof pulled off, missing holes in the roof from trees and things even falling through it. And they were all homes in the immediate area immediately surrounding our property. And I really believe that if we did not have that Girard roof on, that our home would have been damaged just as much, if not more, than the ones in the neighborhood.
I thanked her and left. As I pulled away from the house, I noticed the roof again. You know, it is a good-looking roof. I kept hearing that. I also kept hearing all these people say that they only wanted to re-roof once for the rest of their lifetimes. They wanted durability. They wanted high quality, and obviously, they wanted it to look good. Bottom line, it had to be the best. I guess that puts me in the same boat along with them, and most other people. I made some notes. Same type roof, same customer satisfaction, noticing a trend here. I had a couple of days left, so I drove to Florida.
WFTV Orlando.
A lot more active, and I think El Nino will be less of an influence on there. Therefore, activity.
Sure, these roofs could withstand quakes and twisters, fire and hail, but what about Hugos and Andrews? I had to find out. I met Mrs. Dimitri in Kissimmee. She told me her husband designed their house and at every stage insisted on having the very best.
I paid the extra expense because I think in the long run it is cheaper. I think it will probably last as long as the house will last. I don't have to be afraid that the hurricane will take my roof off like it did on many other buildings. And if a hurricane would come, I feel very secure about the roof and the whole house. My husband, like I said, he just wanted the very best, and it pays off, and people admire it, and I'm very proud of my home.
I think Florida will test just about any roofing material about as severely as it can be tested.
Then I found Jim Mitchell, a Kissimmee architect, out in front of St. Anne's Church, which he designed.
We have had a whole new hurricane resistance wind code written after the hurricane last year in South Florida. And again, the metal roofing systems have published a wind resistance and uplift resistance that is above the new code requirement, which again gives us some sense of relief in that we can use the best material and meet all the criteria.
Mr. Mitchell informed me that wind resistance code along the Florida coast is 110 miles an hour. The Girard roof is rated at 120 miles an hour. Impressive.
And in Florida, the shingle roofs do not they don't last their warranty period. They go a lot quicker, whether it's the sun and the general climate. But more and more, the metal systems seem to be much more. The cost of those systems seems to be much more justifiable. The fact that it will last pretty much a lifetime justifies the cost, and it really came down to because of the lightweight material. And the maintenance-free aspect of it, it just seemed to be the clear choice. Beyond the practicality of the stone-coated steel is the aesthetic advantage. It gives us a beautiful roof. We have a wide selection of colors. The texture that it creates, and whether we're trying to deal with a style, whether it's mission style or Southwestern style, or just a contemporary design, it's a very flexible material in its appearance. So we can get enthused about using it on just about any kind of building.
It had been a long journey. I put a few miles on the van. I met some smart, interesting people. And best of all, I got home before the next rainstorm. In my job, I try to get the facts, to record them on film and get them on paper. It was interesting that everybody I talked to ended up choosing the stone-coated steel manufactured by Girard, which happens to be in Southern California. I had to have my last few questions answered. So I went to the source, the factory in Brea, California. What about it? Question number 1. Can I walk on my stone-coated steel roof so that I can still put up my Santa Claus and reindeer decorations every December? Answer. Okay, so if a bunch of firemen can jump up and down on these things, I guess reindeer can dance and prance on it too. Okay, when it's raining hard, Or when Texas-sized hailstorms are landing on my stone-coated steel roof, will it sound like a herd of wild horses inside? Answer: okay, so it's quiet. But when my roof's installed, will there be guys up there throwing my old shake shingles all over the yard like frisbees, creating environmental mess and ruining my wife's begonias? Okay, but isn't my stone-coated steel roof gonna cost me a little more?
In fact, I'd say it was a must. If they don't put one of these on, they're nutty.
Enough said. Thanks, Art. I figured if a stone-coated steel roof could withstand all that punishment, then one of them would suit me just fine to solve my little crisis and avoid my wife's punishment. The epilogue of the story: I got the Girard roof and kept my wife.
I wanted something that was going to stay. I don't want to roof the house again. I want to do this once in my lifetime. That's it.
The old adage, you get what you pay for, is still very true. If you want the best roof for lasting the longest period of time, maintaining its fire resistance throughout its life, etc., you'll want to provide the kind of roof I mentioned earlier.
I would stand behind Girard, and I like their stuff.
We have to be able to depend on the performance, and this is one of the few materials where that is a reality.
Girard.
Steel roof, coated steel.
Zero maintenance.
The fact that I never have to think about my roof again, except to enjoy how it looks, is worth a great deal to me.
Girard. Beautiful under any conditions.